We got the questions ready. Let's do it.
Hey. Let's talk. None of my people gon' walk. 100 bands for us, now she fiendish. Running, I know we out to the moon. Panic on me and reside. If he come for my chain and we swap. Shawty can't look at my eyes. BBS's I shine in the dark. I'm on my gentleman-ish. I'm putting up for my city. Don't need friends, my family.
What's poppin', man? Spark the fuck, man. Let's talk about it, Black Ink. You know what we on. You know what's poppin', man. Squawk.
What's up? Let's talk about it, Black Ink.
This is Rashad from Earn Your Leisure. Big shout out to Let's Talk About It, Black Ink.
Yo, what's up?
How does it feel to be you? How does it feel to be the bad bit? All right, I'm done. Hey, y'all.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us again another week. Mm-hmm. You know, we're back with your panel of guests. You know, you have the lovely and exciting character that is Naughty Body. Miss Nadia, how you doing today?
I'm good. Low-key Nadia is doing good. I'm sleepy.
Oh, listen, you ain't the only one. Then we have the beautiful, sensational,
Oh, my God.
tantalizing,
That's your aunt, bro. So
the
dirty.
beautiful Miss everybody's favorite aunt.
Everybody's.
I know she's mine. Miss Eve Monroe, how you doing, baby?
I'm great. Thank you.
You look great. I see the nails matching the shirt. She fly. She's showing you how it's done. I ain't mad at her.
He's such a freaking...
And of course, you know, me, Kevin versus Floyd. Shout out to my man Rich Mo and Miss Sage. They couldn't be here with us today. They had some prior engagements, but as always, they're here in spirit. Mm-hmm. Literally, Miss Sage is definitely here in spirit. I can feel it right now.
Judging, yes.
But
No, just that.
So today I have two questions. Really, we're gonna take it like spades. I got one in the possible.
Okay.
So my possible question depends on how quickly we might get through this first question. I don't know. It might be a quick thing. It might be, a little long, depending on how our reaction is.
Okay.
But the first question, I had, and you know me, is always geared towards relationships and things of that nature. But I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's geared, but we're going to talk like this. Do you believe, it's a two-part question, do you believe that black men and black women have unrealistic expectations of each other?
Kevin, we definitely already talked about this.
We never talked about this.
If y'all think we talked about this, please, underneath this episode,
We did. This is
put
why
Kevin is repetitive.
Listen, this the crazy part. This is why I didn't want to tell her what the topic was, because we didn't talk about this. I just told her what the topic for next week was going to be last week.
Kevin,
So
we
you
definitely
feel like
talked about this.
Me and you did it off of camera because you asked me what the topic was for next week, and I told you it was this. So me and you had a little conversation in the car off camera. So you feel like we talked about it again, but we didn't technically.
That might be valid.
Exactly. This is why I shouldn't have told you.
All right. Well, Mom, Eve Monroe, you can.
Anyway, like I said, the second part question.
Because I'm the oldest, I'm going to go first?
You're going to go first, but the second part question is, if you do feel that way, who have more unrealistic expectations, men or women?
Okay.
If you can start.
So understand this. This is just an opinion, okay? There's
all
no
opinion
stats,
based.
statistics, or anything.
It's all opinion based.
But I think it's more of we have trauma that has not been addressed. So the expectations is, I need you to make me feel good, even though
I can't make myself feel good.
I can't make myself feel good, right?
Exactly.
So, I've been traumatized, so I need you to fix that. And we're not saying it like that. We're not being transparent. We're not being honest. But there's also no healing involved. There's also no looking in the mirror and taking like some honest reflection. I think people, they hop from one relationship to another, and this is just my opinion. There's no cleansing. So it's like, oh, well, this person hurt me, that person hurt me, and you're the common denominator. So either you need to make better choices or you need to figure out what you're doing to attract this type of energy.
Bars.
Listen.
Bars, mom.
Bars.
That was well
Yeah.
said.
More bars. That was very beautiful and zen-like.
But see, I'm older now.
What
Because
the-
I'm older now.
I guess our engineer don't agree.
Right.
He like, I ain't trying to hear that.
No, so I think the last part, what she said too, like the fact that she has a little bit more wisdom now, she can see that. Because I do think that in the beginning of relationships, period, I do feel like we don't really think with solutions in mind. We don't think like, maybe am I the drama? Am I the problem? We don't think like that. We always point.
Right.
So I like that you said,
Right.
you know, from
We
relationship
deflect.
to relationship. Yeah, we don't deflect.
Well, the
Right.
saying goes, when you point the finger, you got 3 pointing back at you. So
Right. So are you going to make her choose?
Right.
Or can she stay neutral? Because her answer was very neutral.
Her
And if it
answer-
was me,
her answer was
you
very
would have
beautiful.
made me
Bro,
choose.
listen, can I do my thing? Because I was going to make her choose.
I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I
Her
don't think
answer
you
was
should.
very beautiful and very zen-like. But I want to talk more about like the surface and the materialistic things. But
So you don't want to go deep.
So-
You want to stay.
I want to go deep too, because deep matters. I'm sorry, go on.
I think a lot of people don't take advantage. They don't take in consideration. There's not a lot of communication. You got to
Agreed.
communicate. Like you need to know what are your expectations. Matter of fact, what caused your last relationship to fail? You
Right.
know, this is conversations that people don't have. Like they go straight into, oh, he's cute, makes me feel good, took me out, or whatever
Right.
it is, whatever that hierarchy is that says he's the one, she's the one. You know, it's usually initially a physical attraction.
Right.
You know, there's some energy there, whatever. But like I said, I'm older now, so I'm actually talking to people that I would have never looked at.
Right.
Ooh.
That's beautiful.
Who
That
First of all,
that shows
literally.
growth.
You talking to people that you would never
Literally.
looked at.
That shows
You-
growth.
Where you at? What
That-
state
that
you
shows
looking at?
growth.
I'm just saying, I'm
Oh, okay.
actually
That shows
giving
growth.
time to people that I would have never looked at
That's true.
because I'm not attracted to you. So my
That's true.
initial conversation with you wouldn't even get past this because I'm looking at like I don't do short, fat, don't do, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever you're, you know what I'm saying? Whatever
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
physically
yeah.
attracted to.
Expectations
So
with I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Expectations.
But yeah, expectations with the age and just the not even age, but just as
It
you
changes as you
experience
grow.
life.
As you grow.
I think the expectations. So it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
say, and I also think it depends on the trauma. I feel like men who have been through
Oh, yeah.
certain things, their expectation. Like I got a homeboy who like he will absolutely not date ratchet women, and his eyes was considered ratchet as loud, obnoxious women like from his city,
Is that
you
not
know, very
ratchet?
opinionated. I mean, whatever. Everybody's definition of ratchet is different, but you get what I'm saying. The
got
typical,
you.
you know, whatever.
I got you.
He won't date that, right?
Right.
And that's due to his trauma. That's due to him seeing women in his family like that. He don't want nothing like any of the women in his family.
I guess that's
And
part
women,
of my trauma too.
that's
then.
also your
Right.
trauma.
'Cause
Kevin.
I'm not dating no loud,
Definitely.
obnoxious woman. So I guess
Definitely.
it's part of my trauma. I didn't think it was, but maybe it is.
It is. And so same thing for women. I think it's hard to say whose
You gotta know
expectation
when
is
it's-
higher because it does like Mama Eve said, it does depend on the trauma for sure. I agree with that 100%.
I mean, I agree with that too. But Eve, I gotta put the heat on you since Nadia telling me to. I'm talking, like I said, all that is I agree with 1,000%.
So you want us to
But
choose?
I'm talking about who has higher expectation or unrealistic expectations when it comes to physical and materialistic things. And I'll give you an example. You'll have some women who'll say, oh, I won't date a man unless he's 6'8", chiseled chest. He got to have $100,000 or more in the bank account. A man may say, I won't date a chick unless she look like Halle Berry or whatever the case, these crazy, unrealistic features we
Right.
be wanting.
And as you get older,
None of that
that
matters.
changed.
And
I
as you
agree.
and
But I'm
get
talking
older,
about
it
now.
changes because guess what? Your expectations are unrealistic. You
Yeah.
can't be fat and round talking about you want somebody who's in shape.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
You just can't
1,000%.
be that person because
Right.
you're not going to even attract that. What you want is somebody that you want to build in a lab. So
Right.
it's not.
Listen,
that
I agree
changes.
with
If
you.
you're
That's
not in
my
the gym,
argument.
you're not going to meet somebody. Right. That's just not realistic. So
That's-
my feedback on that goes back to, again, you have to take care of yourself. I'm not looking for somebody to take care of me, but at the same time, I'm not looking for somebody who wants to be taken care of.
Kevin, you trying to make us choose,
so
and it's just
You have to choose.
No, you don't have to choose. We just said the choice
can't
was
say
trauma.
it depends on the trauma.
Yeah,
It
no.
depends on the trauma. You can't say that, now women are more emotional. I can say that.
No, all I said was,
you know,
I want to know who you think have more unrealistic expectations. That was a
I
question.
think ignorant people who don't love themselves and aren't doing the work have the most highest
I can't
expectations.
say.
I feel like people who are doing the work on
can't-
themselves can break expectations because not even put that much pressure on yourself. So like me, I have to constantly catch myself because I know I'm trying to be the ultimate supreme vegan, holistic, healed daughter, best this, best that. So I have to check myself and make sure that I'm not putting that expectation on other people. But I also, what helps me check myself is when I check in with myself. Okay. And I'm like, who put all these unnecessary expectations? Who said I had to be a millionaire by X age? Who said that I had to do this the right way? Who said I had to hurry up and be married at a certain time and do it the right way? Who said that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I put these expectations on myself. So when you're doing the work, if you're doing the work, you'll know when to check your expectations when you check in with yourself. Those who don't check in with themselves and aren't, like my mom used earlier, aren't cleansing, aren't doing that work, of course their expectations are going to be out of pocket. And I do feel like, in the sense that you're leaning toward, I do feel like it seems like women have higher expectations because you always hear I want a man who has a lot of money. I want a 6-foot man, tall, dark, and handsome. I want him to, security. You always hear that. That's like a narrative that is it's so cliche. And then on the opposite side, you hear men say, she got to be a banging body. She got to be able to cook. She got to be clean. I want her to be able to support me. I want, she has to be okay. If you Muslim, depending on your religion, you might have to be okay with other women being wifed up too. So I think both sides have the equal amount, or I wouldn't even say equal amount. I would just say I think both sides have like the equal stereotypes of expectations. But the real question is like, at what age or at what point in your life do we feel like some of these expectations become unrealistic? Like, when do we start to realize that?
I think, I agree with everything you said. And that's more so what I was getting at. So you definitely brought that up. I think that depends on the person, because you have people who, like Aunt Eve, they grew with her. She grew with her age. Her maturity literally grew as she matures. Mm-hmm. Then you have some people who are older than Aunt Eve and haven't matured at all. So it really depends just on that person and just how they view things and how they view themselves. If you view that you are not the problem, you will never try to solve the problem, because you don't think you are the problem. Exactly. You have some people who are our Eve age or older or our age younger, whatever, and they could have had 1,000 failing relationships, and every time they wasn't a problem. Yet they're the only common denominator. Mm-hmm. Yet they're the only common denominator. But no matter what you tell them, they'll keep saying, it ain't my problem. And my only thing, I think both parties have unrealistic expectations.
I do.
I truly believe that for a fact. Mm-hmm. I know that as me being a man and having plenty of homeboys, as also as me being a man who dealt with women and dealt with plenty of women. I know that for a fact.
How many women you dealt with?
I dealt with enough. I'm trying to set me up.
She just put you out there.
She's trying to set me up. I am a gentleman.
He quick with it.
A gentleman never tells.
He quick with it. He quick.
Gentleman never tells. Yes,
quick
ma'am.
on the feet.
But
Well, let me ask you this: what? And I want everybody to go around the room and take some time if you have to think about it. But what were some of your like absolute expectations? And then now, how did those break and what are they now? So like, for example, everybody wants a 6-foot man. Like my mom said earlier, she's like, now she's talking to people that she probably wouldn't have talked to, X amount of years ago.
Doesn't mean they ain't 6 feet.
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying, I'm giving an example for context.
I got you.
What was an expectation that was like hard? You was like, listen, ain't no way he come to my house if he ain't this, and that. And then what is it now?
For me, it's easy. So for me,
big butt.
What? Listen,
Ew,
that thing wasn't dragging. I wasn't choosing. You hear what I'm saying? That thing had to be stupid.
If it wasn't dragging, we wasn't napping.
I'm trying. You feel what I'm saying?
Baby.
Listen. So like,
she cracking up.
I'm trying to tell you, like, if it wasn't big, baby, you couldn't get the gig.
Ew.
I wasn't.
Turn his mic off. He is so trifling.
Where's Lima?
Right.
Listen, it's the truth. Listen, I am a man who come from a family of voluptuous women. It's what I grew up with. It's what I like.
So what is your expectation now?
It changed because, well, I'm in a relationship, and my lady, she happened to be voluptuous, have a big butt. So I mean, how much did it really change? But it changed before I met her because it was like, it changed before I met her because it was like I wouldn't turn. It was so bad at one point. I would literally not take a female serious if her butt wasn't big.
I remember this conversation.
I'm like, I was literally.
I definitely remember multiple times.
It was like, if your butt wasn't big and if you wasn't chocolate, I wasn't rocking with you.
And you got a light skin.
And I got a light skin.
Big
girl.
booty, beautiful Judy.
But
beautiful
I was
hair.
like, if you wasn't
Smart
chocolate
too.
and if you wasn't thick, I didn't want you.
Okay. So now, what was? So I should have added this question in, and then you can go, or my mom could go. What was the change of mindset?
Well, for the big butt part, it was just like that was just young Kevin. I'm older now. Don't get me wrong, I still like a big butt. But as long as it ain't flat like mine, we can talk. You just can't be built like me. That's all I ask. Just don't be built like me. Like, I'm built like a linebacker. Don't be built like me.
Shout out to all the bodies.
Shout out to all the bodies, yes. But and for the chocolate thing, believe it or not, I have to give that credit to my beautiful cousin Nadia. Because one day you cussed me out. We were talking.
Oh.
And I didn't realize how ignorant I sounded. You called me on my ish.
Okay.
We were talking. And I was saying about how, I want a black family. I want black kids and the whole 9 yards. So I got to have a chocolate woman and all that. And you was like, nigga, you act like light-skinned women ain't black. The hell is wrong with you? You acting like we ain't black. So because I'm
like something I would
light-skinned.
say.
And you like, look at me. I'm light-skinned. So that mean I ain't black? I'm just as black as you. I'm like, you not, but I get what you're saying.
Yes, mindset.
But you definitely, I was like, damn, you're right. And I didn't even realize
how
I was doing that. And the whole light-skinned thing came from trauma. Yeah. That I do know. Mm-hmm. It came from trauma of growing up, being a tar. Like I said, as a man, all of a sudden now, oh my God, I love you. You're chocolate, your skin gorgeous, is all that. But as a little boy, I was tar baby. I was, I was midnight. I was all these black jokes. So
tar. Who called you tar baby? That's some
kids
Philly.
Is ignorant.
No, that's some Philly joint for real. Tar baby.
Tar baby. Listen, but when you grow up and you see, I guess, dark-skinned people in a sense, not completely, but in a sense, ostracized, and then see light-skinned people celebrated, like that's the pinnacle of beauty.
You want to
it's
stay
like,
away from that.
So it came like, it went from me wishing I was light-skinned to me saying, fuck y'all, I hate y'all. I don't, I not literally hate, but it was just like,
right.
Like,
I don't want to be associated.
Like, you ain't that cute.
Right.
Like, you think you cute just because you light-skinned, you ain't that cute.
Right.
And I realized all that was trauma. Mm-hmm. And I knew it even when I was saying it, but I was like, fuck it. But then when you brought, I'm like, you know what? Like, no, like that really, that ain't cool. Like,
because your wife is definitely black, and she wasn't even raised like as hood as your experience may have been. Or like not even as hood, but like urban city. She's not from an urban city, but she definitely is black. Like her knowledge, her activism, like she's definitely black. So that I'm glad that I was able to shift you. I just wanted to say that
you did
shifted.
You get the credit. She definitely she shifted that for me. That and healing my trauma of that. Yeah. Because I'm the darkest out of my mother's kids. My mother's light skin.
And you're gorgeous,
so
though.
It's just like, but growing up, you don't see that.
Gorgeous. So. Zion is the darkest out of my kids, and he's gorgeous.
But he's not even dark, though. He's just the dark
out of her kids.
But he's not dark. But I know. So it's just something I have to heal through and go through. So
that is so true. My brother is literally, me and my brother have the same mom and dad. And you would never know. He literally has like the male features, and I have the female features.
You would know. Y'all both look like y'all mother.
Okay, so Mom.
And the now.
What was your biggest, harshest, most religious expectation? And then how is it broken now? What is it? She laughing because I probably already know.
So we're gonna talk. It's two different. It's different.
No, we still want to know.
Physically attracted.
You give it to us.
Both.
Versus character.
Okay, so give us one for character and one for
physical attraction. Okay, so my physical attraction, I had to stop with the tall, dark, and handsome because I was like,
Tall, dark, and
Kevin,
handsome.
I
I
don't
knew
like
it.
nothing light as me. I don't like nothing light as me.
Ain't that
I
so
don't like nothing
crazy?
lighter
Y'all
than
both
me.
don't want light skins.
Listen,
That's different because
if
they
I
say
got
opposite
if
gender
you
attract.
got a smile for me to see you in the dark, that's what I wanted. If you came from straight off the boat in Africa, that's what I'm talking about.
That's true. That's true.
And that's trauma.
She
That's
said
trauma.
that's trauma.
That's funny.
So what is it now?
That's funny because Ashley has definitely told me she can't see me with the lights off. I gotta smile.
You know what?
The Black Panther.
Joke. But I love it.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of receptive to it, as opposed to, you know, being that chick like somebody light skinned, short, come and say hi, and I'm like,
Right.
so
You
he's
give him a
brown
chance.
skin and not so tall. I'll give him a chance. His conversation better be good.
What about character?
So the characteristic, and I can tell you, this is one that just recently came across my table. Someone who told me they didn't believe in nothing. That scared me. That scared me. Had no spiritual belief, had no nothing. Like, I'm not talking about it has to be mine, doesn't have to, but it has to, what do you believe in? I don't believe in nothing. That scared me. My spirit, my stomach, everything was like, run.
Right.
Hey, who knows? He could
I
have
don't
been
even
sent
know.
to you so
Yeah.
you can help him believe in something. You never know.
That's not my, listen, I'm past
That's not my
that,
lane.
too.
Yeah.
I don't even have the
So
energy.
wait.
My
So
age,
I know y'all can't.
that's
help.
not at my age. I don't have it. Like, if you're a child, that's one thing. For you to be my age, how you gonna change that?
So
He
was
may not know
that
his trauma.
was that your expectation that he didn't believe in anything, or is that something you're open to now?
No, that's still it. Absolutely, you can't come to me with no.
I've actually leave it like, no.
No.
Make sure you
definitely
see
not.
me very good. No.
No.
Gotta believe in something.
Right.
So what about you, Nani?
Something. You don't believe in anything?
Right.
All right, listen, I'm with you.
I used to be a light skinned chick. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I used to not. The way I said that was messed up. I mean, I used to.
You being
I
so
used-
light skinned right
Right,
Right.
I'm being so light skinned right now. Apparently, I used to be like a light skinned girl. Like, why I keep saying that? It's because I'm sleepy, y'all. That moon had me so tired. I used to only date or be attracted to light skins, and I don't know. I think it's when I went to college, and I saw all that darkness, and I was like, "Good God Almighty, what is that?"
Retarded. So
No,
you was
that-
the opposite of your
I was,
mother.
yeah, I was.
That's funny. The opposite
I
of
used
your
to
mother.
like, yeah, I used to like light skins, but there was another
you gotta
expectation that I had.
you gotta give him some background, Nadia. You gotta give him some background.
Oh yeah,
You was
yeah.
raised in
So
the
I
white
definitely
culture,
went
and
to
you
a
went to
white
Oh, yeah.
high school
HBCU.
for
all,
sure.
all them biracial,
Yeah,
them
Florida-
biracial boys.
Florida turned me out. Yeah, Florida turned me out, and that's where I like started to, you know, just fall into the same, you know, mojo jojo as everybody else. And then when I went to a HBCU, I got my mojo back because we grew up with nothing but dark skins. Like, really, if family wise, we probably was the lightest ones. On my dad's side, we're the lightest one of the lightest ones.
Yeah, definitely.
And then even on, well, my mom's side, not, but I'm talking about even the Jamaican
No,
side that
mom's
raised
side,
us
you're
when we moved, yeah, we're probably the darkest on my mom's side.
Say Puerto Rican
The
side.
Puerto
y'all
Rican side,
definitely
yeah, we're
darkest.
darker. But we was raised by my mom's extended family, which is our extended family, our
Right.
Jamaican side. And we was the lightest there too. And we was, you know, and even all my mom's friends was mostly dark-skinned people. They was dark-skinned women or dark-skinned. My Aunt Kim, my mom's best friend,
Yeah.
dark-skinned. So I've always been around dark-skinned. So I think just the high school influence messed that up.
That's what she was. you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I was.
To the white school, biracial kids. you know.
Right.
So-
And then
But even
recently,
with the
I will
trauma
say-
with that,
Go ahead.
even with trauma with that being light skinned, it was like, oh, you was the house nigga. You know,
Ooh,
when you
yeah,
went, and this is the same trauma that you were talking about, Kevin. They called you certain things. They called us, you know what I mean? That's what,
Yeah,
light
so
breasts.
that's why I was like, yeah.
I think one of my most recent expectations that stopped, and this is the character thing, like my mom. I think before, character had to be like, you was grinding, you was doing something with your life, you was opening up a business, you was out here SVP of your company, you had all the material good looking things, because I know my level of grinding that would match that. But as I began to take on this spiritual journey and really my values changed. So like, yes, I would still love you to have a certain amount of drive in relationships, but I care about what are you healing from? What have you healed from? What are you growing through right now? Not going through.
Have you healed today?
Have you healed today? No.
Have you healed yesterday?
So what did you heal from this morning? Okay, what about tonight? But nah, I care. I definitely think my expectations changed.
Like your 48
What'd you say?
Did you recite your 48 laws of
Right.
God this morning?
Right. So it hurts you. So it hurts you today. Are you going to heal from it tomorrow?
Tomorrow, right?
Right.
What are the 42 laws of my top 10 right now? Recite them. Okay. No, but I do care about. I think it's sexier to me if a man is healing. I used to not care necessarily. That wasn't a top value of mine. Like it was okay if you was godly, if you went to church like on Easter, that was cool with me because you believed in something. But now I don't even, the belief is a part of believing in yourself, your higher self. That's what I'm like most attracted to now. Can I get some collapse, some bars? I know you hear me spitting over here.
He ain't like you. You say he put weave in his dress. He don't like you.
I'm so sorry. He knows I love him. His little cute self. He's so adorable. Now give me some claps. No, it's fine.
Hold on. Wait. So y'all both gave one for characteristic. I think I got one for characteristic.
Okay, what?
It was a point in time where I was attracted to, and it's going to sound crazy, but like when I explain it, you're going to make sense. I don't know. I guess it falls in the characteristic category, but I was attracted to women with trauma.
Oh, definitely.
So
Oh, yes, me too.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
my thing is like, so I was attracted to women that were, I guess I don't want to say from the hood like me, but from the hood like me, from the streets. Like, you're not the hood, but from the streets. Like, you grew up in Philly or somewhere like it. We both got concrete jungle backgrounds, you know, daddy
Speak
wasn't
our
there
mind.
or mommy wasn't there or whatever. And I was attracted to that. Like, that's something. And then I realized being attracted to that, I also had to dealt with the actual trauma of it too.
Right.
So it's funny because
Right.
I would, like I said, and I had to change that. And it's funny when I did, I met Ashley, and Ashley's like total opposite. Ashley, I'm like concrete jungle, and Ashley like everything's rainbows, everything is shining.
You do not have to make her
and
sound
I
like
am
that.
happy. That's really good. I'm happy
Ashley
that
just-
she grew up. I mean, she has her traumas, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that she didn't grow up with the same level of poverty,
Black America.
poverty, and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
Yeah.
That we had to, so to speak.
That is definitely true.
I'm happy
Trauma.
for that. But I was attracted to that because, when you from the same trauma, you get the same jokes. Like there's certain jokes I may say to Ashley, and she be like, "That's not funny," and it's like, I know it's not funny, but when you from that and experienced it, the shit is funny. So it's like, so I get it. Like it's not funny, and I shouldn't laugh about it.
But you are.
But as Black folks, we laugh about our trauma. We laugh about our jokes. So it was that connection of being attracted to a Black woman with trauma that got me because
That's literally called trauma bonding, which
exactly
a lot of
what
us
it is.
do.
There we go, trauma bonding. That's what I was looking for. That's
Trauma
the phrase.
bonding, yeah.
Trauma bonding. So
That is
that's
so
what it was.
real.
I actually had a female that, and you know about too, that I was dating one point in time, and literally, and it's crazy, I wasn't physically attracted to her. I mean, I thought she was cute, but not to sound egotistical, I knew I could do that. Like, my uncle always told me I shouldn't look better than my lady. But the fact of the matter was, I liked, it wasn't shy. I liked her because we bonded over trauma. Literally, the fact of us sharing our pain, the things we went through, cracking jokes, it was like, we really like, that was my boo. Like, baby, like you fine to me now. Like, I'm with you.
This hits
So-
home so much because I would say even currently I'm going through that. Like I don't mind. I think there's a level of trauma bonding that I'm cool with. Even my friends.
Even now I am. I'm like that. I'm with you.
I want to know, and I think this has to do with me being Aquarius. I'm also Cancer rising, and I'm a Scorpio moon. So I know if you know astrology, you know how.
All I know is I'm
deep.
a Leo.
Okay, well, we're going to get your birth chart. We're going to have one conversation about birth charts. But that makes me very intuitive and very deep. So I do like to know what people's dark sides are because
Same,
it makes
I do
me
too.
like you a little bit more. Like,
yeah.
oh, you got over that?
I like knowing you went through something. And that was
Yeah.
also a thing for me too.
But,
I
hold
was
on.
like very attracted to strength, not to cut you off.
Strength, yes.
Strong women. And in my mind,
Yes.
in order to be a strong woman, you have to overcome something. If you have not come from poverty or pain,
correct.
Say, how can you truly be strong?
Correct.
And that's not necessarily true, but that's how I thought.
And this is where, oh wow, you got claps for that, really?
That's my God right there.
No, that was good. No, that was good. And I think what I'm about to say, my mom can definitely attest to. I think as you grow, what strength really is the walk out of your trauma.
Exactly.
Not the fact that you experience trauma and you're still bonding to it. I think the real strength is like, yeah, you know, I really did have, I had a mom who was on drugs or a dad that was on drugs. Or, you know, somebody passed away, my grandma passed away, whatever. But, you know, every day I talk to them, or every day, you know, I try to have a relationship with my crackhead dad or something, you know, just light, let them see my kids under my, but you know, it still hurt me, but I journal about it, or I go see therapy. Like, to me, I think that's sexy, because even in my mom's age, me and my mom have a conversation like this not too long ago. I think back in February when we were doing our detox, she was like, I don't care that you've been to prison 14,000 times and you still, and you know, when you've been to prison, it's like, and she's like, great. Okay, wait. So what are we talking about? Right. And it's like, if you ain't got no solution, our ears start to close.
That's
so I do. That what you said was definitely something that was an expectation of mine.
Yeah, the trauma bonding. I learned, as I was looking for the phrase, you gave it to me, trauma. I definitely had trauma bond a few times in my life.
So my question now you got me all interested in this topic, and I said I was sleepy.
That was the plan.
Shut up. My question now is, Sage is really big on making sure
Solutions.
that we have solutions for
Yes, ma'am.
for this. And I love that she keeps reminding us that, and I will definitely play my part in that as well. But what are solutions that each of us have gone through to break our expectations and continue to break these societal expectations? Like, what do you do?
I ain't go. You start.
You just threw it on her because you didn't really think.
So
I had it, but I'm gonna start.
it's a continuous growing process. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, half the battle is acknowledging that there is a problem, and the problem is you, and starting there. It's a constant growth. So you can't just say, you know, you're not. These are people that are inhuman. You know, they're human. They're not going to come with, and they're not going to make mistakes and, you know, whatever. You're not building, this ain't, you know, Frankenstein. I'm going to build my perfect man in the lab.
Right. Build a bear.
This is, you know, real life. I'm not going to build a bear. So one of the things for me was actually, you know, fasting, going to therapy, and healing myself. And it's funny because part of that healing process is the energy that you put out there. So you put out that energy, and the right energy will come back to you. And you stop looking for it. Stop looking for it.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll just come to you. You know. So
Yeah. You want to go? You want me to go?
I love that you go.
I would say one of my solutions to breaking expectations is definitely to kind of clap back on what my mom said, is self-work. I call it, they call it shadow work. So really, you know, after relationships or even during relationships, you know, checking in with yourself, you know, intensively listening. I think that's another reason why we have expectations. Sometimes we can't even break expectations because we've already put a narrative in our mind about this person and the fact that they should meet this expectation. But if we actually listen and watch them, we'll be able to see, like, maybe they're not there yet. So is this realistic for them? And not saying that everybody's expectation is not realistic, but I do feel like we put it on people that aren't ready for that. And this is literally talking to myself. Not everybody's ready to just dive into a 7-day juice fast, a 30-day water fast. Not everybody's ready to heal from their parents' trauma overnight and just be like, I'm going all in, you know? So, you know, kind of just watching my relationships is a solution. Talking to myself. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely talk to myself. I don't know, like, how weird it is, but
Dude, I talk to myself all the time.
bathroom and kitchen.
no, I'll talk to myself all the time.
Literally.
Listen, I think of a
All the
joke and
time.
start
Literally.
busting out laughing.
No, literally.
I make my own self laugh. That's
Like
how I
the
know I'm funny.
bathroom and my kitchen are my areas of podcasting. Like I should put a mic in them areas because I literally am always talking to myself. But in talking to myself, I really do find the answers for real, or just listening to God reflecting. And then too, y'all, y'all be careful who y'all asking about relationship advice as well, because in your advice you'll get new expectations from people who trauma bond, like your friends, your girlfriends, anybody listening who got girlfriends. You be like, girl, what you think I should do? Leave him? Nah, you know you could do better. what his credit score? Oh nah.
Meanwhile,
she ain't got nobody.
She ain't got no man.
She been on Tinder since she was 12.
I told you to call me.
Right.
Supposed to call me. That's it.
Right, exactly.
She's still waiting for Pookie to come home.
Exactly. Your family too. I mean, luckily
Not
I have a mom that
Pookie.
has some. No, he's stupid. Talking about Pookie. Luckily, I have women in my family that have a little bit of wisdom. But even then, you have discernment. There's things you can't tell every single. Your grandma always gonna have your back. She ain't gonna give you the best advice. She always gonna choose you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just certain people you just cannot ask for. Yeah, because they will feed you expectations. So you gotta be careful. And it's sometimes it's out of love. But again, we giving solutions, so it could be detrimental to how you process. So
exactly,
just be careful with them expectations, because you will push people away.
You need a friend, and you need a friend that was willing to smack you in the face.
Yeah,
like literally.
I just want to say this last thing and then let you go. One of my good friends, we've been friends for almost a decade, LaRonda, Death Row on Instagram, love her to death, literally. But one thing that we've had to learn in our relationship is resetting the boundaries in our relationship and the expectations. So I told her, like, I had to learn this about myself. I'm not a friend that you can expect to call every single day, talk to about every decision, see all the time. I'm not that friend. I had to learn that about myself. And when I was able to learn that about myself and I articulated that in the relationship, it flowed better. You know what I'm saying? And then she let me know her expectations. Like, listen, I do need somebody a little bit more this and that. And then she found out in herself, like, hey, maybe I am a little bit more codependent. Yeah, maybe I'm a little needy in that area. You're right. Maybe I did. So, but I will say this, like, that conversation that we had with each other made us last another decade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who we were in college when we first met each other is not the same when we are today.
We talked about a couple episodes ago about who are you in a relationship.
Yes, who are you? What role do you play in those relationships? Exactly. And once we set those expectations with each other, oh my gosh, we have the best relationship ever.
Most definitely.
We have the best relationship
ever. And then you can find a person that will fulfill every need you have. Even when it comes to your friendship.
You say you can find or you can't?
You can. So I'm saying far as friendship. You can find a person to fulfill that role that you may need. So, like, I may need a friend. I got a go-to friend to go to when it comes to party.
Oh, okay.
I got a go-to friend to go to when it comes to fighting.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I'm saying? Like,
separate.
It's like that. You're not going to find an all-in-one.
Yeah.
But that's why you can have more than one friend.
One friend, right.
You know?
Right.
But I think for my solution, one of my things was being introspective. And
okay, Elmo likes big words.
I learned that from Ashley. Shout out. Shout out my red. She's a nerd. She be teaching me. I love it. But and I always was introspective. I just didn't know the word introspective existed at the time. But so all this time I was being introspective, I didn't know it. But being introspective, and for a lot of my expectations, I would ask myself, can I provide what I'm expecting? And I think a lot of times we don't do this. If you notice, for me, when it came to what my expectation was body-wise, I didn't say skinny or a six-pack. Because I ain't neither. I ain't skinny and I ain't got a six-pack, so I ain't going to ask for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I always made sure I was that listening to people when they told me about myself. Like when you told me about myself or what I was doing, how in hindsight, I was doing the same thing to me onto somebody else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So letting my pain overcome me and control me.
Right.
So I had to learn to not do that as well. And another solution for me, and I just lost it until I was like, God damn,
it's okay. It'll come back.
But I just, like I said, honestly, it all comes back to being introspective. Is asking myself, can I provide what I'm expecting?
Correct.
If I cannot, I do not have the right to ask for it. I literally ask for it, but it's not fair.
Your match, your reciprocity.
Exactly, it's not fair. If I cannot reciprocate what I'm asking to be given, how can I truly ask that?
And rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Even though I didn't agree with everything he said, the brother was a GOAT because he did make a lot of his listeners who joined the conversations, he did make them introspective. Like, you asking for this type of man and all that good stuff. Do you have that? You have 6 kids and you want a man who has $1 million. Why would he want 6 kids?
That ain't his.
That's not his.
Realistically.
So introspective is important. I agree with that.
So introspective, definitely. That's my main solution. That and not allowing my trauma to control me. Not
No trauma bonding.
Yeah, not allowing my trauma to control me, and not holding on to my trauma. When you hold on to your trauma, you attract more trauma. And I learned to let that go. So,
yeah. Another
definitely.
solution, I would definitely say to the writing, to the writers, I would say to the men and women who like to journal or just reflect, write the story, like put a person's name at the top of the paper and write the story you have in the head about them. And then read it to them if y'all got a relationship like that. And watch if they laugh or their eyebrows go like this or they be like, really, that's what you think? Like, that's a really good icebreaker to be like, yeah, that's what I think about you. Like, write their story out and read it to them. That'll be a really good.
it depends on what the story is.
It depends on what the story is.
I might get into a fight.
Yeah.
Take that with a grain of salt.
So what would be interesting is to do that with your children. Like, give them 5 minutes of fame and have that family meeting and see what, you know what I'm saying? Like, let them talk to you about what's really bothering them. You'd be surprised.
That's gonna be hurtful.
Right.
But you have to be ready. You have to
Yeah.
be ready. You have
Yeah.
to be
I
ready.
think.
So, yeah.
I definitely want to bring on
You have to be
a guest. I would love to bring on a guest, Sister Keisha Bowers. She is a inner child healing guide, and she's got her master's in social work and therapy and all that good stuff. And she teaches a lot about that too, like having family meetings. We were just talking about that earlier today. She has these family meetings, and sometimes you will be so surprised what your kids think about you. But it, in turn, once you process that, you really do become a better parent, because that line of communication that you have with your child, it's like, wow, that's what you got from from when I did X, Y, and Z.
So what do you think in light of that? What do you think is the cause of the I don't want to say miscommunication, the misinterpretation
Of expectations?
between a parent and a child? What do you think? Because the parent will say one thing, but the child will get another thing from it. So what do you think is the cause of the misinterpretation?
You want my opinion? Or you want the one?
I want both of y'all.
Because I don't have kids, but I can give you what I think.
You are somebody's kid.
I am
though,
somebody's
so
kid.
That's what I'm saying.
I think parents are just doing the best that they think to do that was better than their parents.
Right.
But every generation, my mom is known for saying this, every generation is supposed to be better than the next.
Most definitely.
So, if I were a parent, I'm only trying to outdo my mom. But my daughter might think I'm supposed to be Beyonce, but my mom wasn't Beyonce. She was Eve. So I'm doing better than Eve. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter might be like, but mom, I want you to be like this mom. Or this, I want you to, and be like, well, baby, you can do that shit.
Okay, we ain't talking about that.
I'm just playing.
Tell she ain't got kids right now. Hey, what about you? What do you think is the
I'm just
cause
kidding,
for
y'all.
the
I'm just playing.
misinterpretation?
I think it's communication. I think it's, I come from a generation where you were seen and not heard. You were told what to do. I didn't have to explain to you why I told you to do X, Y, and Z, And in their minds, it was, I told you to do that because it's really, I'm trying to protect you. You cannot run in the street. But the reason why I want you not to run in the street is because I don't want you to get hit by a car. Exactly. And I'm not taking that extra step and saying, I don't want you to get hit by a car. So the child is taking it like, well, dang, she don't let me do nothing,
Right.
Definitely survival.
It's crazy. I'm sorry, I just find her saying, because I've said this before, a lot of people are suffer from laziness of the tongue. They don't want to take, like I just said, take that F says, listen, this is why I remember, hey, yo, because I told you so. But why? Because I told you so. If you ask me again, I'm going to slap shit. Like, I remember those days. Like, no, literally, like, take the extra. Because kids are.
But in some situations, I was like that. And Nadia can, she can attest.
But I agree with that.
And I probably was more lenient by the time I had Nadia.
Yeah, by the time she had me, yeah. She wasn't
lucky.
lazy with her tongue.
You the youngest.
By the time she had me.
The youngest always get the best version.
Yeah, I did.
Because
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just the oldest.
The grandkids
Grandkids get the
getting a
best
better
Yes.
version because because now they come out talking about, well, why, grandma? And I actually take the time out to explain
grandparents,
to them. But at the same time,
grandkids.
I'm not under.
Yes.
I'm not under the same pressure I was as a
'Cause it
single
ain't yours
parent.
directly.
I got the energy,
Correct.
I got the patience. Well, not just that, you under a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? As a single
Yeah.
parent, you working 2 jobs, you doing this. Do I really have
Very true.
10
Facts.
seconds to explain to you
Right.
why you don't
Very
need to be
true.
running in the street
Very true.
while we waiting for the SEPTA bus? I mean,
Yeah. Very true.
I
Yeah.
think it's a
So,
balance. I think
it's just-
you have to, and I have this conversation with Ashley all the time because
in your bed.
she asks me
your
why
bed.
for a lot of things that I say, a lot of things that I do, and I even explained to her, and she's not a child, that's my lady, but if I can explain to you why, I'm going to explain to you why.
In your bed.
But in some situations, I may not be able to explain it right then and there. So it's kind of like I
Right.
need you to do it just when I told you to do it.
That's a lazy tongue, though.
But listen, it depends on certain situations. Like, funny enough, I just saw, I forget who just said the joke, but it's hilarious as hell. Was like, all men want is women who listen. Sometimes I can't, if I take the time to explain to you the duck, you gonna already find out why the hell I said duck. Like, now we shot.
Too late.
Cause I'm trying to explain to your dumb ass.
bullet is
I said duck, but why ducking? And now you're shot. Like,
right.
sometimes trust enough in what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
as soon as I get the chance to explain it to you, I will. Sometimes it's not the laziness of the tongue, but the pause. Because I can't explain in that moment because the time won't allow me to.
But
And
you
I
can
would
still
kids have to
say-
understand that some too.
You can still say, I'll explain later. Just trust me on this one. That's still
But that still takes time. Like I said, it depends.
4 more words.
Listen, it depends. If you can say it quick, awesome. It truly depends. I think it's a balance. On one hand, you should explain to your kids why you tell them to do what you tell them to do. But your kids need to understand that sometimes when mommy and daddy say, listen, don't do this or do this, I need you to react right away.
Yeah.
Not always say, but mommy, why? Because you have some kids who will why the hell out you for
For
everything. And it's like, I can't afford to answer these whys at this particular moment. So I think about just finding that balance. Understanding that trust and believe, so whether it's your children or your significant other, the minute I can explain to you why I had you do or not do it, I will explain it to you. And just trust in that.
Well, I've already been told that one of my kids is going to be new to this world. Like, this is going to be their first human experience. So I ain't got the time to have a lazy tongue. I'm glad I'm talkative.
Why?
Right. Why, mommy? Okay, but why? Why? I'm be like this. My neck for the turn so sharp. Like, if you ask me one more.
Well, I don't know how much I believe.
No, just like-
I don't know how much I personally believe in. What's that called again?
What you talking about?
When you lived before.
We're not going in that.
You just
no.
saw. You said your child gonna be new to this world
For the first time.
for the first time.
But what you asking?
So you're basically saying your child has never been here before.
Yes.
So you believe in, I forget the proper word, it start with an R. You saying you believe in
Resurrection?
resurrection. There we go. Basically what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm saying-
So
yeah.
energy can't be.
Exactly. It doesn't.
Or
It's not
destroy-
destroyed.
yeah, it
exactly.
can't be destroyed. So
So
we
listen,
just
I'm not
recycle
saying I haven't
souls.
been before. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You
I just
definitely
know
have.
when I was a child, I was Mr. 21 Questions. I was the why. I was the why. I remember pissing my mother off, and I get it now why she was mad, because I was asking her questions she couldn't answer. Like, who's God's parents? Do God have a mommy and daddy? Is God a boy or girl? Who did that? So it became like, listen, here, little nigga.
Well-
God exists, and that's all it is. Shut up.
Well,
like, like, it was too many damn whys, and I get it. I understand.
That is literally parents is. Though what you just said is probably one of the biggest expectations of a parent is
To
that we
know
think.
everything.
Yeah, well, the child thinks that the
They
parent's
know-
supposed to know everything, and the parent doesn't understand how new to this world the child really is. So yeah,
Yeah, we talked about that in a previous episode about
Yeah.
our expectations we had of our parents that we realized
Yep.
wasn't true or obtainable. You
Yep.
know, a lot of us as kids, our parents are the closest thing to God, so to speak.
Yep.
They can make any. If you're hungry, they can make food appear. If you want clothes, they can make it. You know what I'm saying? So we think they know everything, and it's like they don't. They learning.
Well, hopefully y'all got some solutions from this conversation for
Yes,
sure.
Hopefully.
Lower
Check
those
your
expectations.
check your
Check your expectations and check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Introspective, like Kevin said, and wisdom, like Mama Eve said. We definitely appreciate y'all coming to the show. We love you.
And listen, and I know you want a 6 foot man, but if he 5'10", that's 2 inches away. It ain't gonna goddamn kill you. Goddamn, he put on some J's with a thick sole,
As long
some
as he
butters.
okay with me
he gonna
winning,
be
he
6 feet.